Anyway, moving on to Power Rangers Turbo. A shift into turbo. Go. Mighty engines roar. Turbo charge for more. Drive 4 on the floor. Go. Power Rangers Turbo, go. Power Rangers Turbo, go. Power Rangers Turbo, theme song's better than the show. Oh. Okay, I'm done. Yes, the song was better than the actual show. I don't know what went through their minds when they decided to do this. Maybe they wanted to get a little more child-friendly by bringing in a child like Justin to play the Blue Ranger, but I don't know. This was a low point in the history of the Power Rangers right here. Not only, I think, maybe because, well, the story goes that Jason David Frank was ready to leave, but they didn't have replacements for him any other Rangers yet. Or for him specifically, and they decided if they're going to get rid of him, they're going to get rid of the rest of them, except for Justin, because he's already new. So, we get half the season up to, hold on. Let's see. Episode 18 and 19, Passing of the Torch. That's the last time we get the original cast as part of this. Right away, we see a whole bunch of changing for the Turbo kind of thing. Now, Lieutenant Stone is taking Ernie's place, managing the juice bar, or the outside juice bar, whatever it is. And Bulk and Skull, in the first episode, get turned invisible. And then halfway through they get turned into monkeys. And then invisible at another point. But, yes. You get turned into monkeys, and then they get turned invisible. It's really weird. The reason was they were actually going to do a spin-off of Bulk and Skull, but never got picked up. So that's why they weren't really there. They were filming stuff. I wish I could find like a print or something of that to watch, but I don't know. And Alpha 5 Zordon leave. Does it say on the back? Because I forgot to look it up. Demetria. Alpha 5 and Zordon leave and are replaced by Demetria, who's the new person in the space vortex thingy. And Alpha 6, who talks like this. Yo, Rangers, what's up, Rangers? It's me, Alpha 6. Yo, what's up, Rangers? That gets fixed in the next season. Trust me, it's one of the most annoying things. Yo, Rangers, we got a problem over here. Like, Alpha's from New York now? I don't know. But anyway, we get the team up, same as the movie, right? Tommy, Kat, Tanya, Adam, and Justin. And then, not much happens in the first half. Also, the actress who plays, what's her name? Divatox. Okay, I know the actresses' names, but I don't know which. Carol Hoyt and Hillary Shepard Turner. I don't know which one it was that originally played her in the movie, but she got pregnant and was replaced by the other one for a certain amount of time until I think the switch happened and they switched them back. I'm not exactly sure which actress is which. I should look it up. I'm sorry, but you know the names. They're in there. Here's that. So, yes. The only episode of note from the first season is the two-parter Honey, I Shrunk the Rangers, where this fly monster shrinks the Rangers. That's about it, and that's just before the power transfer. And the power transfer, it's kind of like Fast and Furious, or it's kind of like Furious 7 and Tremors Shrieker Island. How you're going along, you're watching this, and then all of a sudden at the end of this two-part adventure, boom, they hit you with something. Because it's so out of nowhere. Especially the second part is heavily focused on this, where the first part is just like, Divatox kidnapped Tommy. She hangs him over this vortex thing, and he could end his life. And then you meet TJ and Cassie, and they come along, and they kind of sneaking around, and they save Tommy. right? But then you also see that during this takeover of the city of Angel Grove, you got Ashley and Carlos, who we've seen previously in episodes. Mostly Carlos was in another episode, but we've seen them helping people out. All of a sudden, in part 2 now, the Rangers have a deadline to do something. And we see the Green Ranger spying on Carlos, the Yellow Ranger spying on Ashley, and then, TJ and Cassie save Tommy and get him, and then they morph, then heat Tommy and, they fight and everything. And then suddenly at the end, we find out there's a power transfer. Zordon and Alpha 5 are back. They're transferring the powers to TJ, Cassie, Ashley, and Carlos, and Justin gets to stick around. Yay! And the others, they get to leave. So if you have watched the show from the beginning, like myself, and you got to this point and you were like, what are they doing? And it was a little different, but I told myself, I said, 8-year-old me, what was this? 1997, right? 10-year-old me, I said, to 10-year-old me, I said, you're a Power Rangers fan. You've stuck with it this far, you can stick with it again. And I want to say that, except for a couple episodes, like when TJ gets baked into a pizza, or there's actual robot versions of the Power Rangers, the second half is not bad. I think maybe now they learned their lesson, they're not being so goofy. It's not completely serious, but it's a little bit better in the second half. Especially when they introduce the Phantom Ranger. Although they do kind of do a love story thing with Cassie that goes nowhere because they drop it. But the Phantom Ranger is sort of the Sixth Ranger. At the beginning half of this, you get the Blue Centurion, which is fine. I hate it when they introduce Robot Rangers. Like Robo Knight is probably to Robo Knight. I'm just saying, he's not a bad character. I just don't like it when they have Rangers who are robots. And Steel in Beast Morphers, but I'm just saying. Anyway, the Phantom Ranger story arc was pretty cool. We never find out who he is, and I'm fine with that. I think that was the point. I don't think we needed to find out who he was. He was a mystery that didn't need to be solved, And if I had my choice, I had to pick who it was. I think it should have been Billy. And hear me out. I think that maybe reversing his aging process on Aquitar didn't work as well. And so they had to put his consciousness into a different, thing. I don't know. It's just an idea. I always thought maybe it was Billy. And growing up, after finding out what happened, I'm like, well, maybe it was Billy, but they couldn't use the actor. I don't know. But you never find out his identity. Bulk and Skull do eventually become human again along the way, towards the end there, I think. We get an actual story with Justin. From the Turbo movie, he's an orphan. And so here he's pining for a family. He found the Rangers, but then they leave, so he's got new people to be a family. And guess what? Okay, so the whole story about this was that the original Rangers have graduated from high school, and now they're moving on to other things. So it's like, okay, Power Rangers is growing up a little bit. Now we're going to go further. They're not in high school anymore. That's fine. But then they put TJ, Cassie, Ashley, and Carlos in high school. Ashley and Carlos were already in high school. But TJ and Cassie are these two people off the road. Cassie was on her way to Hollywood to find stardom, and I don't know what TJ was trying to do. But all of a sudden, they're now in high school. They just enroll in high... I don't know. It's really weird. Anyway, though, there's a story with Justin at the end where his dad comes back. And his dad gets a new job, but he has to move away. And he wants to take Justin with him. He decides not to take that job, and then Dematox attacks the power chamber, destroys it, and takes away the Rangers' powers, and then is called into space for some kind of intergalactic evil meeting. And the Rangers, because Demetria went into space to help Zordon. So now they think Zordon's in trouble, so they go to the Nasada spaceport, to go into space. But Justin stays behind to be with his dad, and also so he's no longer on the show. That's cool. He does have one episode in space, but that's kind of a cool episode. And he leaves. They leave into space, and it says to be continued in Power Rangers in Space. And that's probably one of the best seasons of the show, to be honest. That's when it really got serious. Overall, Power Rangers Turbo is a transitional season in every sense of the word. It transitioning the cast, transitioning the characters, and just kind of trying to go to that next step. If you're trying to binge all the Power Rangers seasons, go ahead, put it on. It's kind of like a roadblock on the way to something great. But, you know, if you're trying to binge all the seasons, do it. Or you could be like me and just sporadically watch seasons here and there. Because each season, really after this, it's kind of secluded. You don't really need to know other than for the team-ups. But, you know, it's fine. This season, it's probably the worst. I don't know. I haven't gotten to the other ones yet. Hopefully, I don't know. I would say hopefully it's the worst. I've heard people bash Operation Overdrive. I don't think it's that bad. I think there's some problems with it, but we'll get to that one eventually down the line. All in all, Power Rangers Turbo, transitional. That's all I can say. It's bad, but still watchable in a way, if you know what I mean. Well, that concludes my review for Power Rangers Turbo. The theme song was really better than this season of the show. But anyway, what are your thoughts on Power Rangers Turbo? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and may the power protect you.